They say that diversification is the best way to protect your portfolio. So if that's the case, then what are the best stocks in every single sector? Let's go ahead and break it down. Now, depending on who you ask, there are 11 total sectors of the stock market. For those that don't know, these are sections of the stock market: energy, technology, consumer goods, stuff like that. But today I'm really going to focus on 9 and give you what I think are the best stocks in each of those categories, so that you can, one, see what the best stocks are in each of those categories, but also kind of pick some things that might be off the beaten path and help to diversify your portfolio. How do I come up with this list? Because I always think, just like I did yesterday, I want to give you some context on how I come up with these lists. I basically took a heat map. Okay, there's basically a screen that says, hey, these stocks are good, broken down by categories. Did a little analysis to see, kind of poke and just make sure that they are as good as I think they are, and then give these stocks to you. Now, because some of these things do overlap, I'm gonna tell you right now, some of these stocks I've been told y'all about. Some of these stocks I told y'all about years ago. Some of these stocks I told y'all about yesterday. Okay, there are some though, I would say of the 9, about 7 of them we have not discussed here before. So I'll start off with the one I told y'all about yesterday, which just so happens to be the best stock in the finance category, and that is Allstate. Allstate is up 28% just this year, okay? And all these numbers are year to date, so from January 1 to right now, okay? So Allstate up 28% already this year. I think we talked about this just yesterday. They pay like a 2 or 3% dividend, so good solid dividend. Company has been around for a while. Insurance, now, on the unfortunate side for all of us, insurance rates are up, but that is, beneficiary, or it is a beneficiary for those who own the stock and for those who work there too. So Allstate, best stock in the finance category for me. I'm also going to give you a quick hint or flash, whatever it is you want to call it. One of these stocks is up 238%. I'm sorry, 231%. I had to double check that one. Okay. All right. So next here is healthcare. I told you about this stock last year. Told you about the stock the year before, and the year before that. That's Eli Lilly. I'm not gonna say nothing else about Eli Lilly. Okay, it's up 27% so far this year. I have been talking about it for a very long time. I've also been talking about McKesson. McKesson is still doing quite well, but Eli Lilly has been the one in the healthcare space. Go back and check all the videos that I've been doing for years mentioning Eli Lilly, okay? That's all I'm gonna say, because I done said everything I can say about that stock. Moving on to retail, most people, especially before doing my research and looking into it, if you ask me what's the best retail stock this year, I definitely would have just threw a dart and just said Amazon. Now, I can put Amazon in a bunch of categories. I can also put it in the tech category. Okay, I can shift Amazon almost anywhere I want to, but when it comes to retail, it's actually Kroger. Kroger is up 21% in the retail space, better than Target, better than Walmart, and I think when I looked at it, it was actually slightly better than Amazon too, so not something I would have thought of, but Kroger is doing quite well in that space. The next one here, this one is one I told y'all about. I put close to $7,000 of my own money into this company because that's how much I believe in it, okay? And I showed y'all the receipts and everything in between about this stock. It is NRG. Again, in the energy space, it's NRG. For those, y'all know, people in the Houston area, y'all know what NRG is all about. But it's up 36% just this year. Just this year. My strategy around it is to do the comfort call strategy. We did a video on how I made $4,000 using this exact same strategy. So the idea here is to do the same thing with NRG. If that is successful and it works, we'll do a video at that point in time. But just like we did with PACCAR, it took several months for that money to come through. It was not something that was overnight. So I bought it. Y'all saw me buy it. We'll see what happens at the end of that journey, and we'll do a video at that point. But $7,000 is cooking. It's up, right? And NRG so far this year is up 38%. So that is one right now that I have the majority, not the majority of my money. Okay, not the majority of my money, but it is the one of all these stocks I have the most money in that one. You guys already know that I own Allstate as well. Before we continue with the list and we move up the list as well, make sure again that you sign up for my free workshop on how you can create your six-figure investing plan. A part of creating that six-figure investing plan is knowing what to invest in, because you need the money that you do have to grow. Whether it's a lot of money or a little money, it has to grow, right? From point A to point B. I said yesterday, and that is still the case. It's always going to be the case. I still started with $100, and the better I got with understanding how to be consistent, what to invest in, and how to protect my money, the better I got, the faster my money grew, and the wealthier that I became across the board. All right, as we continue moving, let's go to consumer staples. This is stuff that you have to have. Actually, no, this is actually consumer discretionary. We really need to find better words for this. This is stuff that you don't have to have it. These are wants, consumer wants, I guess is one way to say it. Decker Outdoors, the name of the company, DECK. Deck is the stock symbol. It's up 21%. They do like the outdoor equipment and all that kind of stuff. It came up on a search for something I did the other day. It was actually the other week. And it just didn't make the list for something that we did not too long ago. But again, 21% in just the last, just this year so far. So not even the last 6 months. Is pretty good. Also, I'm not putting this on the list. This does not count. I think Stanley Black & Decker too. Circle that. We'll come back to that at some point. Okay, it's not on the list, but we need to circle that one because I think something was happening with that one too. If SWK, I want to say is the stock symbol or something there. I know I'm ranting. I know it's random. Trust me, we're gonna come back to it because there was something when I was looking that popped up that was like, hey, I need to come back to this. So this is my reminder to myself and to y'all in the comments for us to come back to it and we can talk about that stuff. Okay, got you. I do read the comments. I know one of y'all wants me to talk about a video. We're gonna get to that too, right? All right, next here, as we are going through, is consumer services. Okay, everybody defines these categories slightly differently depending on who you talk to. There are two stocks in this category. Both of these stocks I done told y'all about. Some of y'all listened. Okay, the first one is Disney. So far, just this year, Disney is already up 24%. I did an entire video around how Disney was on its way back and how Disney had started to turn around and started to get on the good foot. I was right. Okay, so Disney has turned that corner. I don't know how long that corner is gonna last. But I can tell you, if you had listened from the time that we did that video to now, you would be up a minimum of 24%. Okay? Just throwing that out there. The other stock that I talked about, and we did a whole stock split video. It's actually my most popular video, I think, so far this year, was on Chipotle. Talked about that one. I also have some money in Chipotle. You guys know that. Chipotle is up 27% so far just this year. I have placed my order for Friday already. Okay, I'm going to pick that thing up tomorrow. Okay, so I'm excited for that. I don't know if y'all had that Chipotle honey vinaigrette. Apparently it's not new, but it's new to me. I just discovered it last month, and my God, I see why the stock is up. All right, next here is a stock that is up 50%. GE. It's in the manufacturing space. Now, there is a reason why we have not talked about GE a whole lot, even though, again, it's up 50%, and normally when a stock is up this well and it's a well-established company, we normally do talk about it a lot. Last I checked on it, when I did a deeper dive into it, and this was months and months ago, it seemed to have had like a huge pop, like a one-day stock took off really big and just kind of sat there. I do need to go back and re-examine it, but if you're looking for manufacturing, you're not going to find anything close to that 50% gain just this year. Now, you could argue that PACCAR, one of my favorite stocks that we have talked about, is done close to 60% in the last year, right? But we're only in April, and it always depends on what the time frame is that you want to look at. So just this year, a much shorter time frame. At this point, GE might be the place that you start your research. Right now, you guys know where I'm investing. Right now, I'm not as confident in GE. I'm just a little skittish about it. Perhaps there's a little bias on my end based on where GE has been in the past, based on just where I was, growing up at the time. I remember 2007, 2008, and what GE went through back then. So maybe that's just a little bit biased on my end. But objectively, it's still up 50% just so far this year. The next one here is the one that is up 231% just this year. I had to go back and double check because this number is crazy. And no, it is not NVIDIA. It is Super Microcomputer, SMCI. Now, if you think that I have not talked about it, you just in our members only. Okay, because I have talked about it a few times and broke it down inside members only, gave you my thoughts about the company as well. It is absolutely on fire. I mean, outside of the AI chip space, it's like a stock that has done, I mean, well over 1,000% in the last year, if I'm not mistaken. I have seen some groups on the internet really talk about it, but it's not a household name like NVIDIA is, or even like Micron is. Micron, a stock we did talk about last week. Micron also got, I think it was $16 billion. They got an announcement earlier this morning that they were getting some money from the U.S. government to build a plant in New York. Told you about Micron. I told you Micron was slept on. Now, I didn't know that was coming, but, you know, I told you about Micron. But aside from that, SMCI is absolutely on fire. Now, my concern, just like my concern was for NVIDIA, is when you invest in on the back half of something that's already up 200 and something percent just this year, it is hard to fathom that it's going to continue to do that. However, there is no rule, there is no law that says that it won't continue doing that. I could have sat here and told you the exact same thing about NVIDIA last year at this point, when NVIDIA was already up, whatever it is, 50, 60, 70%, and said, I don't know if it's going to do the rest of this year. And it did. So there's that, right? It feels unfathomable. It doesn't feel realistic, but it is absolutely possible. But again, I've done all my analysis and given my thoughts already inside the members only. That was several weeks ago. So if you want to know what that is, and make sure you go ahead and check out our members only. If you want to know more about where I put my own money and which of these stocks I believe most in, then you want to check out these videos right here.